Good evening. We're back with another episode of Arlo in Tokyo Ghoul, and hope you'll like it and share it and subscribe if you haven't already. And so tonight we're continuing with Arlo's story. Here we go. Arlo stood at the edge of the boardwalk, the ocean breeze tugging at his hoodie. The sea shimmered under the setting sun, streaks of orange and purple stretching across the sky. For once, he felt calm. His fingers were interlocked with May's, her grip warm and steady like an anchor keeping him from drifting away. They were talking, really talking, like old friends swapping stories. For the first time in weeks, Arlo didn't feel like a monster. But that calm shattered the moment he heard her voice. "So, this is where you've been," Felicia said, her tone sharp but not loud. It cut through the air like the flick of a blade. Arlo's whole body stiffened, his back still to her. May felt his fingers go rigid in her hand. She glanced at him, then turned to see who it was. Felicia. She stood a few feet behind them, her arms crossed, her eyes sharp with disbelief, hurt, and something worse, betrayal. "Felicia," Arlo muttered, his throat tight, heart pounding like thunder in his chest. He didn't turn around. He couldn't. He stared at the horizon, eyes locked on the sun sinking into the sea like it could somehow pull him in with it. Felicia took a step forward, her sneakers crunching against the boardwalk. "All this time, Arlo, all these nights, we were out looking for you." Her voice cracked on the last word. "We thought you were gone. We thought—" She stopped herself, eyes narrowing. "But you were just here, laughing, smiling, with them." Her gaze flicked toward May, and her eyes sharpened. "So, this is what you traded us for." "Stop," Arlo said quietly, still not turning around. He didn't want her to see his face. Not like this. Not anymore. "No, I won't stop, Arlo." Felicia stepped closer, her footsteps getting louder, each one like a drumbeat in his chest. "You don't just disappear for weeks and expect me to be quiet about it. You left us, left your family. We were scared for you. We thought—" Her voice faltered again, breath hitching. "We thought something horrible happened to you." Arlo's eyes shut tight, his hands squeezing May's a little too hard. May frowned, glancing between them, feeling the tension like static in the air. "Something did happen to me," Arlo said, his voice low but sharp as broken glass. Felicia stopped walking. Her eyes stayed locked on him, watching his shoulders tremble just slightly. She softened, her arms lowering. "Then tell me, Arlo," she pleaded, quieter now. "Tell me what happened. We'll figure it out together. You don't have to do this alone." He shook his head slowly, his breath uneven. "You don't get it, Felicia. I can't come back. I can't come home." His voice cracked, and he hated himself for it. His nails dug into his palms. "Not after what I've done. Not after what I am." Felicia's eyes widened. She stepped forward. "What are you talking about? You're still you, Arlo. I don't care what you think you've done. We can fix it. We always do." "No, we don't." He finally turned his head, just barely, enough for her to see the edge of his face. His eyes stayed low, hidden by his hoodie's shadow, but she could see the faint glow. Red, dim but undeniable. Felicia's breath hitched. She stepped back like she'd seen a wild animal in the woods. "Arlo, what happened to your eyes?" "Don't," Arlo muttered, pulling his hood further over his face. His hunger was creeping in. The smell of salt water wasn't enough to block it. "Don't look at me." "Arlo, look at me." Felicia's voice rose, louder now, filled with fear and frustration. "You're scaring me." "Good," Arlo snapped, turning his head fully toward her. His eyes locked onto hers, glowing faint red like embers in the dark. "You should be scared." His breath came out fast, his chest rising and falling. His teeth were sharper than they used to be. Not much, but enough that it was noticeable now. Enough to make him look like something else. Felicia's heart pounded, her breath shallow, but she didn't back away this time. She stepped forward. "No," she said, shaking her head, eyes locked with his. "You think that's going to scare me? You think that's enough to make me leave?" Her eyes burned with tears she refused to let fall. "You're my friend, Arlo. My family. We don't run from each other. You know that." Arlo's face twisted into something between a grimace and a grin, sharp teeth peeking out. "You say that now, but you didn't see me when it hit. When I was starving, Felicia." His eyes locked onto her, pupils sharp and thin like a predator's. "I ate." Felicia flinched, her breath catching in her throat. Arlo's voice grew quieter, hollow. "I didn't want to. I tried to hold out. I swear I did. But I was so hungry, Felicia. You don't understand. Nothing works. Water tastes like dirt. Bread tastes like ash. But meat..." His breath shook and he looked down at his hands like they were still stained with something he couldn't wash away. "Meat tastes like home." Felicia's hands were trembling now. Her eyes darted to May, who was watching it all play out. Her eyes unreadable but calm. Too calm. "So just leave it at that," Arlo said, turning his back to her again. His hands dug into his hoodie pockets. His shoulders hunched like he was trying to disappear. Just go before I make things worse." "Arlo, please," she whispered. "Don't do this." "I have to, Felicia," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "If I come back, they'll see it. They'll see me, and they'll do what they always do to things like me." He glanced back at her one more time, his red eyes dim but steady. "They'll put me down like a rabid dog." Felicia sucked in a sharp breath like she had been hit in the chest. "No one would do that, Arlo. We wouldn't let them. I wouldn't let them." Arlo laughed quietly, shaking his head. It wasn't a happy laugh. It was the kind of laugh people do when they've already decided something is over. A laugh made of cracks and ashes. "You would," Arlo said softly, his voice full of certainty and sadness. He didn't even sound mad. He sounded tired. "When you see me hungry enough, you would." Felicia bit her lip, her nails digging into her palms so hard it hurt. "No, I wouldn't," she said, trying to sound strong, but it came out more like a plea. "Yeah, you would," Arlo muttered, eyes focused on the sea again. "But that's okay. I'd do it too." Felicia's eyes burned with tears she couldn't hold back. "Then don't leave. Stay with us. Stay with me, please. We'll figure it out." She stepped forward, voice cracking. "We'll figure it out together." Arlo didn't move. His eyes stayed on the horizon, watching the sun disappear behind the ocean. "No," he said softly. "You can't figure this out. No one can." He reached into his pocket, pulling out a small, broken phone. His thumb ran over the cracks in the screen. It didn't even turn on anymore. He looked at it for a moment before tossing it into the ocean with a soft splash. Felicia's heart dropped with it. "Goodbye, Felicia," Arlo said, letting go of May's hand and pulling his hood tighter over his face. "Tell them I'm gone. For good this time." Felicia opened her mouth, but no words came out. She watched him walk down the boardwalk, hands in his hoodie pockets, May following close behind him. Her heart ached. Her legs felt weak. She wanted to scream, wanted to run after him, grab him, and never let go. but her feet wouldn't move. Her chest was too tight, her breath too shallow. All she could do was stand there, watching her best friend disappear into the night. The shadows swallowed him whole. Felicia wiped her eyes, staring at where he'd gone. "Come back, idiot," she muttered to herself, her voice cracked, barely a whisper. "Come back." That's the end of our episode tonight. Hope you liked it. Stay tuned for more, and we will see you in the next episode. Good night.